Glad to have you with us here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Could your Seattle Seahawks be trading up in the 2025 NFL Draft for offensive lineman Will Campbell? We'll explore that possibility with a new rumor in just a bit. Also, Rasul Douglas. He's been named a new Seahawks free agency target. We'll look into the possibility of signing him coming up in just a little while from right now. I got a question for the 12s to begin today's show. Are you a true diehard Seahawks fan? Do you live and breathe Seahawks football? If you really do, I need you to prove it right now. Here's my challenge out there. I want to see at least 1,000 12s in the chat for everybody across the internet, everyone all across the world, to hear from the 12s loud and clear. And if we get 1,000 12s, whoever spams it the most, you'll get a shout out on a future episode of Seahawks Today. Spam those 12s, and we'll get started with today's show. Athlon Sports is predicting that Seattle will trade up to the 10th overall pick in order to draft LSU offensive tackle Will Campbell. It's an interesting idea for a couple of reasons. You get the offensive line help you're looking for, and then on top of that, you have to trade up. What does the cost look like to potentially make that happen? Let's go ahead and dive in and see what Athlon Sports had to say. It's no secret the Seahawks need to make some massive upgrades to their offensive line, so they make a bold move here to start that process. In return for the 50th overall pick, Seattle jumps ahead of a division rival with similar needs to land Campbell, who would be an instant upgrade at guard with the potential to take over one of the tackle spots down the road. So you're telling me, folks, that all Seattle has to do to move up and draft Will Campbell is give up their 18th and 50th overall pick to move into the top 10, and they get a very good offensive lineman that's an immediate starter that I'll find a place for, whether it's at guard or tackle, either one, and then I'm set. Count me in. I love this idea. Here's the trade proposal put together by Athlon Sports. It involves the Bears, who currently own the 10th overall pick. You swap from 18 to 10, and you give up the 50th overall pick, and that's it. You don't have to give up any more picks. You don't have to give up future draft compensation either. To me, that sounds like a very good idea for Seattle to make this trade if they so choose. So let's ask you guys now, your chance to be John Schneider here on Seahawks Today. Would you do this? Would you trade up in the first round to bring in a guy like Will Campbell? Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think, if you would trade for Will Campbell or not. Coming up later on, we are going to talk about the possibility of signing Rasul Douglas, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, as he's available in free agency. He's been named a free agent target for Seattle. We'll have more on that coming up later. Before we do, though, let's continue on Will Campbell and get to know him a bit further. Personally, I think Will Campbell is the best offensive lineman in this draft. So if I get the opportunity to select Will Campbell here and move up, I am getting as good of an option as anyone out there in this class. Will Campbell played his entire career with the LSU Tigers, won the Jacobs Blocking Trophy this past season. He was a consensus All-American and a two-time first-team All-SEC selection. His grades, according to Pro Football Focus last season, he had an overall grade of 72.2. Pass block grade was really strong, 80.6. Run block grade was okay, 69.7. That will need some work. Sacks allowed 2. Got called for 9 penalties. That number is a little bit high. His stats, according to Pro Football Focus as well, allowed 5 hits, 11 hurries to go along with the rest of his grades there. So what does the scouting report look like for Will Campbell, well, he's got excellent balance, very good play strength. He navigates double teams very well, which is going to be very important at his position. He's got renowned leadership skills, known as a guy that can be counted upon even at his young age. He's very impressive as an individual in that sense. This is the type of guy that you would want your daughter to marry. And the big knock on him, he does have mediocre arm length. So he could start at the guard spot and potentially move to tackle later on, or he just might be a guard long term. But you have enough needs in this offensive line. Will Campbell is good enough that he will start for you and be a difference maker in some way, shape, or form. So let's ask you, should the Seahawks draft Will Campbell? You got two options here. Type D for draft, type DD for don't draft. How do you feel about Will Campbell after that scouting report? Get that comment section and let us know which way you lean. Folks, we got a great deal we're offering. Cooper Cup jerseys are on sale now at chatsports.com/cup. And for a limited time, we are also offering free shipping on said jerseys as well. It's all in one place, chatsports.com/cup. We also have Sam Darnold jerseys available at that same link. Go see for yourself now, along with the rest of our Seahawks merchandise. It's all right there at chatsports.com/cup to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's move on now. Got another rumor for you. This one courtesy of Bleacher Report. Mo Motton has named Seattle as a top destination for free agent cornerback Rasul Douglas, formerly of the Buffalo Bills. Mo Motton writes the following. Rasul Douglas has been a ball-hawking cornerback and a defender who's prone to give up big plays over the top. The 30-year-old has recorded at least 3 interceptions in 4 out of 8 seasons. On the other hand, he's allowed a passer rating of 108.5 or 6 touchdowns in 4 of his last 7 campaigns. He may need a change of scenery. He's still capable of forcing turnovers, and that will help him get a decent salary. He's a prime candidate for a bounce-back year in 2025. I don't hate the idea of bringing in Rasul Douglas. And one of the reasons why I really like this is, even though he didn't have an interception this past season, historically speaking, he has been a turnover machine. He's done a really good job of creating takeaways over the years and has been so solid when it comes to that, of his ability to get those extra possessions to help out the offense. I still think that with Rasul Douglas, there's more good you get compared to the bad that he brings to the table there. And I think that with this Seahawks defense that could use some help at the corner spot, could use some depth, he's a guy that could come in, compete, and get playing time immediately on this team. Let's tell you more about Douglas here. 2017 third-round pick out of West Virginia by the Eagles, previously played with the Panthers, the Packers, the Bills, and also won a Super Bowl championship earlier in his career. And if we take it a step further and look at his statistics, here's what we're talking about here, folks, of just the ability that he has to create turnovers. Last season, 1 forced fumble, no picks. The year prior to that, 5 interceptions, 4 interceptions in 2022, along with a forced fumble. And in 2021, he had 5 interceptions and 1 forced fumble. His coverage stats were not great, if we're going to be honest, last year, as he allowed over 400 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, did have 5 pass breakups, and that QBR number was awfully high at 124.1. His projection, according to Spotrac, is about a 3-year, $37.71 million deal. Seattle has plenty of money to spend, and they could bring him in and still have a lot of cash left over for the NFL draft. So this is something they can do if they want to go this route. Should the Seahawks sign Rasul Douglas? Type S for sign. Type DS for don't sign. Which way do you lean towards? Do you like the idea of bringing Douglas to Seattle? Your chance to be John Schneider, and let us know. Now, it's no secret. Seattle needs some depth at the cornerback spot. You got Rick Woolen, who's got some question marks. He has not been the same corner that he was since his rookie campaign. Devin Witherspoon is turning into a superstar before our very eyes. And then you got Josh Jobe there, who I don't feel great about as a full-time starter. And earlier this week, Mike Macdonald made it known that the job is not for certain to belong to Josh Jobe as the other starting outside corner opposite of Reek Woolen. Obviously, you'll start Devin Witherspoon at the nickelback spot. And I like hearing this from Mike. In case you missed it earlier, this is what he said this week on the cornerbacks and Josh Jobe in that situation. He said, a wise man once said you can never have too many corners. It might be Ozzie Newsome that said that. And he's right. We need to create more competition in the defensive backs room, especially at corner. Josh knows that when he signed up. But really excited about Josh just taking his career to the next level and how he competes. One thing that Josh does a great job of is just day in and day out process of how he approaches his job, his responsibilities, and how he studies. Him and Spoon work really well together, so that's the type of energy we talk about that we need this offseason in the room so we can sharpen each other and be able to put a heck of a group out there. But he's going to be a big part of what we're doing. Now, with that said, Josh Jobe, I don't necessarily think that he needs to be an everyday starter, but he could be a very good backup and rotational player to be that number 4 corner of sorts, backing up on the outside. And I think you would feel a lot better about this situation, especially when it comes to injuries and such, if Josh Jobe is not that full-time starter and if you were to have a guy like Douglas potentially step in. Jobe's numbers last year, he had 1 interception. It was off of the MVP, Josh Allen, the first pick that he threw all season. 7 pass breakups, also had 37 tackles last season as well. So let's ask you, should Josh Jobe start this year at outside cornerback, or should they look for other options, whether it be in free agency or a trade or the draft? Get in that comment section. Let us know which way you lean towards. I'm voting no. It's a no from me, dog. Shout out Randy Jackson. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section. For more Seahawks coverage, follow me on X at Tyler Jones Live. Appreciate y'all joining us. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.